Welcome to What in the Shibal with Suji and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit.
Hello. It's getting chilly.
Is it? It's chilly now, but like around noon, it's going to be 85 degrees again.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, do I wear shorts and a hoodie? I was like, it's going to be too cold.
Do I wear pants and a hoodie?
Yeah. I was like, I'll wear pants and a hoodie shirt.
I think you made the right choice. I think it's nice though. It's nice to finally feel like I'm moving into fall. Fall is my favorite season for sure.
Yeah, because it started to turn into fall, and then we got that 1 week where it was like 90s again.
We did?
I don't know what to call that week anymore.
Early October?
No, but
it's always early October.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
It's earthquake time is what it is. I'm telling you. That's
no,
when
but
the
for
ground
real
shakes.
though, is there an actual term that's like PC to use for that?
No, and I don't think so.
Okay.
They used to call it what? The Santa Anas?
Oh, I only heard it as like an Indian summer. Because I think the concept was tied to like Indian giving, where you like give something and take it back. So I think the idea was like, oh, here's fall, just kidding.
Is that true?
I think that's why it was called that. But I've never heard it be called anything else. So like, I'm like, what
a horrible thing to.
Yeah.
God, I had no idea.
So all of that week, I kept being like, it's warm again.
A warm time.
Yeah. I was like, it's summer week. I was like, I don't know what this is.
Leftover summer.
Yeah.
Summer bonus. Second summer.
Oh, second summer.
I like second summer.
Oh, that sounds so obvious. It also sounds so obvious.
Like, oh, it's like the summer that happened again. Well, if only there was a way to say that more concisely.
Summer again.
Summertime, one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more summer.
That's good. How was your week, Ed?
I don't every time.
You know the question is going to come.
Yeah. But I have this problem. It happens with so many subjects. People will be like, what's your favorite song? And all of a sudden, like,
I don't know any songs.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know any songs.
I've never heard a song
like,
before.
What's your favorite movie? I'm like, what's a movie? And I'm like, you know this. You spend all days watching movies.
Yes, I know.
It was good.
I'm convinced.
Yeah. Technically, I guess it's for today, but I finally ordered Archie a bunch of clothes.
Does he need clothes? Do dogs need clothes?
Yes. When you're this tiny and it's winter, you need clothes.
I can't retain my body. I'm so cold.
Well, that's what it was the other night. I like to open all the windows at nighttime.
Yeah.
Because I want to get the fresh air in. Mm-hmm. It's not even like during the summer, it's about the temperature.
Right.
Because you want to cool down the house.
You want that crisp air.
But now it's because of that. Because I want the crisp, refreshing air. Mm-hmm. But it was like, even I was starting to get a little chilly because I don't like to wear clothes in the house. I don't like to wear a shirt in the house.
Lucky you, Ron.
I don't like to wear a shirt. In fact, during the pandemic, there was a point when Ron was like, are you going to put on a shirt? And I was like, I haven't left the house in a month. What do I need to put on a shirt for? I've seen a couple of your
videos. I'm like, oh, it's a no shirt day, I guess. Okay.
For those like 2 or 3 videos where I was like, oh, am I really going to put on a shirt? And I was like, no.
Which is like the easiest thing you could possibly do.
No, it is.
I'm like, oh my God, I have to put on my makeup, blow dry my hair, and do my whole thing. You're like,
no.
Shirt.
No, but technically, if I put on a shirt, I also have to do my hair.
That's not.
So in my mind,
that's not necessarily true, but in your mind, sure.
In my mind, if I'm not wearing a shirt, I could pretend like I just woke up. And I don't have to do anything. I just need to get the eye boogies out of my eyes.
Well, at least there's that. At least you afford us that courtesy.
Bare minimum. You're welcome.
Okay, so the dog sweaters. I've never put a sweater on either of my dogs. Do they need sweaters?
So I was sitting there and I had the windows open, and even I was like, oh, it's getting a little chilly. I'll probably close the windows soon. Mm-hmm. And then Archie likes to sit up against me.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden I realized, I was like, oh, are you shaking?
Oh.
Sometimes he shakes if he really has to go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, I'm holding it. I'm like, oh my God, you have to go.
Why do you make him suffer?
So then, I think he's a little chilly. So then immediately I went on Amazon. Also, like, I bought him a bunch of clothes when he was a baby, remember? Mm-hmm. But then he like grew up out of them so quickly.
It happens with kids.
Yeah. Oh my God, it happened with Colt. I bet. I have like $100 worth of puppy clothes that Colt wore once.
Yeah, you're talking to the lady who's both of her newborns had to wear 1 year clothes the second they were born. We had all of these clothes, and I was like, I didn't know babies came that big at the beginning. And anyway, so go on.
Yeah, this whole outfit fits
Nobody.
her foot.
Nobody.
Yeah. So I ordered a bunch of clothes. It's supposed to arrive today, including one that is his Halloween costume.
What are you gonna be for?
It's the same. It's the same costume. Not the same costume. Same character as your husband was for Halloween last year.
How was my husband last year?
Or was it 2
Chucky?
years ago? Yeah. But one of those ones where it's like just the front of them. So when they walk, it looks like
he's stabbing. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that. I want to get one of those for my dogs, but they don't make them that big.
I know.
Cole can't have one.
I know.
It
I
would
know.
look like an actual life-size
I know.
Chucky.
I know. But then I even thought of it, and then I was like,
Scare
but
the
then the
shit out of kids.
tiniest version
Oh
would
my
also
God.
be adorably
He's
cute.
just like, a little knife. I can't wait for the Halloween episode. Oh wait, that'll be next week.
Yeah, I almost texted you yesterday, and I was like, should we? And then I was like,
Oh,
that's a
remember last
24-hour
year
notice.
I did a whole makeup thing, and you're like, I wore a shirt.
It was this shirt.
God damn it! Hi, come on.
I didn't just wear a shirt. I did make cutouts, but it's not like I know how to do makeup.
Whatever.
Unless we agree on a theme.
Oh, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna be Regina George's mom from Mean Girls for Halloween. I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Really hard boobs.
Yes, I'm gonna have hard boobs and a pink tracksuit, and then, my daughter and her friends are gonna be the cast of Mean Girls. My daughter's gonna be Karen Smith.
But from like everyday life, or not from like the Christmas song thing.
These are 10-year-old girls. No.
Oh, I only asked that question because I was like, well, if you're going to be Regina George's mom, maybe I'll be one of the girls from the Christmas. From the Christmas. Like I didn't ask that because I was like, oh, are your girls going to? I was thinking that because I was like, wait, are they going to be dressing up as what I'm thinking of?
Oh man. If you come to my house wearing that, I won't know how to explain that to the neighbors. So please do it. Please. You actually and Ron could do it together.
Ron would never, but two.
Ron would never?
Only if I could find it.
I could make it. I'm very handy with a sewing machine.
If I could find it, I will wear it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But we do only have a week, so I want to set expectations.
That's a good call.
I could be the burn book.
I think you can order that on Amazon. I saw it actually.
Really?
It does exist. That actually is really funny.
Is your face the face of the burn book?
It's like a cutout.
Oh, it's just
I
part
think.
of it.
Or maybe it's like over the shoulders
thing,
and it's just on the body. Yeah. I can't quite remember.
Either way, that's hilarious because I would have just made one out of paper.
No, but there's so many details on the cover of the burn book. There's a lot of text and
printed it
forever.
Oh yeah, fair.
Life size.
That's fair. Each letter would have to be a page.
Right. Well, because also it's written in the text of am I remembering it right? Newspaper cutout
Yeah, I thought it was
letters.
cutouts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying you would have to.
Yeah, cut it out. Yeah.
This conversation has gotten farther in depth than I thought
it'd be funny.
I wanted to.
It may or may not be Mean Girls theme. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. We'll find out.
Just wear a shirt.
I'm debating on wearing a wig.
What if I just on this shirt put a cutout
Fuck
that
you.
was burn book?
Not good enough. You're not phoning it in this year. If I'm doing it, you're doing it.
Hey, Gudetama was a cute idea.
It was cute.
How was your week?
Great. Just planning for Halloween. It's really all I do is just kind of get from one event to the next event. And, that's
why.
What I've
What are
been
you guys
doing.
doing for Halloween?
Nothing, but this is the kids. The kids have to, they're always doing a group costume. And then, you have to put that all together and make sure that you aren't the one mom who tries to scrape it together at the last minute. Because there's always that mom. I don't want to ever be that mom. Something happened this week, but I forgot what I was going to talk about. It's like asking me what my favorite song is.
The Goyles?
No. I feel like with myself.
School.
Oh, we lost our volleyball game last week.
Oh no, was that the first?
It was the second we lost, but this one was really hard. I'm telling you, we played a team.
School?
Yeah, school game. And it was like a team of like, they looked like 27-year-old women. They were like the drop off between, because we played 8th graders, the drop off between 7th and 8th grade.
Do you think it's the water in that town?
Man,
do you think some towns?
I don't think
Do you think some schools or towns just like give steroids to their daughters?
I don't know what it was, but like these girls were all taller than me, and I'm 5'8". I was like, what the fuck? This girl was jumping 4 feet off the ground, hitting straight into the 10-foot line. I was like,
12-year-olds that were.
They were 13.
13 that were taller than 5'8".
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, way taller. They were way taller than me. I was like, what the fuck? And it was the one day that our like other coach wasn't there. So it was just me by myself. And I was like freaking out and we lost. And it was so disappointing. But
that's why it weighs heavy because you were there long.
Yeah. But there was nothing I could have done.
It was your fault.
There was nothing I could have done. These girls were so fucking good.
They were just Amazonians.
And this is it. Our team is 7 girls. You know what I mean? So we didn't have any subs. We didn't have any ability to do anything other than just play our hardest. And it wasn't that we didn't play hard. It's that we were just outmatched. Yeah. We were fucking outmatched. No doubt about it. There was no way.
It's like in the movie Dodgeball when they walk in and the Germans are just like these.
It was like that.
Hulks.
It was just like that. But we didn't win.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
So the underdogs actually lost, which was a bummer. But like they say, character is built in the losses, not the wins. But so we built some character that day. I was pissed. And there was one girl on our team. I was like, stop dumping the set. I swear to God, I'm going to walk over to the stands and punch your mom. Stop dumping the set. Our setter just kept fucking up. And I was just like, but it's okay. I didn't blame her. I don't blame her.
Susie's character was not built that day.
No, it was actually just tested. It was tested the entire time, but it was fine. That's it. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. I was pissed. I was so sad. I hate losing. I'm not a sore loser. I'm just bad at losing.
Yeah, I don't love losing.
Like I wasn't mad at the other team, and I wasn't mad at them for my daughter.
Just like get mad at yourself.
My daughter received a hit from the girl who was like 5'8". No, she was like 5'10", and she got hit, and she dug it out, and she returned it, and it was amazing. And she goes, I'm like standing in the silence. She's like, I feel like I just got
shot. Wait, who said this?
My daughter.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
She like dug it out and it was like, boom. And she was like, I feel like I just got shot. I was like, are you okay? She's like, oh my God, it was so scary.
Did she cry?
No, thank God.
She would never. Laughing.
She would never cry on the court.
Oh my God,
other daughter would, but she would never.
So funny.
I was like that looked like it really fucking hurt. That looked really painful.
I can see her saying that.
It was really good though. It was good. They played really hard and they did their best. So I'm not going to be upset about that. I feel like I just got shot.
So funny.
But what's been going on, like in your life? Like what's going on? What's the word?
Well, speaking of schools, that's my
you love a segue. You love a segue. Speaking of,
I love a good segue. But yeah, speaking of schools, there was that Larchmont Charter School.
Pissed me off.
Yeah,
pissed me off as a parent and as a Korean parent. I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, when I first read that story, I was like trying to process what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And immediately, obviously, you're angry at the kids and then the parents, obviously.
Of course.
Because like, you're like, it's the parents' fault. And then I was actually like thinking and I was like, no, actually, this is 100% the school's fault.
This is,
I was like, yes, the parents, the kids, 100% that too.
This is a systemic problem.
But I was like, this is a systemic problem that should never have happened or at least should have been nipped in the bud.
Addressed, of course.
Quickly.
Yeah.
And after speaking with a bunch of different teachers and stuff.
I feel like you should tell people what you're talking about because some people aren't going to know.
So like there is a charter school system in LA. It's called Larchmont Charter. They have about like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 campuses that are divided up into grades. So there's like 2 or 3 that are like TK through 4th grade. There's like 2 or 3 that are like middle school and then 2 or 3 that are like high school.
Okay.
So they're all like split up around. There was this article that was only published in Korean newspapers that were claiming that upwards of 6 white kids basically jumped these 2 Korean first graders. Now,
And they were also first graders.
they were
so everybody's in first
so
grade.
that wasn't initially obvious in the articles, but after finding out and talking to the parents and stuff, yes, everyone was in first grade. So basically what ended up happening was that, so initially in the report, there was just this, you know, the fact that these 2 Korean kids got jumped and then like the damages that they suffered, the injuries they suffered. And then after I posted that first video, I called you about this because I was like, I don't know how you deal with this. But all of these parents, there was like 6 of them about, all of whom were non-Korean, were parents of students at Larchmont Charter, majority at that specific location, the one on Wilshire. Because initially the papers didn't even say which location, but I insinuated it because I was like, it could only be 3.
Right.
I was like, and of like, the article keeps mentioning all these Korean parents. I was like, I'm assuming it's the one closest to Koreatown. And it was. It's the one on Wilshire. And
but let's talk real quick. I think we should talk about what the injuries were that the kids suffered. Because I think that's really important because it wasn't just like kids picking on each other. Like it was like violent.
No, it was like violence. That's why I think a lot of people were confused that it was done by first graders because it was very violent.
Right.
The one Korean kid, he was punched in the stomach, I believe. He was choked and then dragged by his ankles. Have you ever heard of elementary school kids dragging a child by ankles?
First graders are babies.
Right.
Like that's crazy that they would think to. Well, I mean, like I get like maybe as an adult we see it as like a different thing. Like, you know, kids drag. Like when I think somebody's like dragging somebody, I think of like, I don't want to say the
arms,
word.
maybe.
Hair? I don't know. Yeah, but no, I think of like, you know, something far more violent than what a kid might think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so maybe like we're like putting a little bit of context onto it, or like we're projecting
because
a little
when you
bit.
think of like dragging feet, we think of
like lynchings and like things that are like really
someone's
horrific.
Face like on a horse, like that kind of a thing.
Right. You tie them up to a horse in the Wild West and they go dragging down the
so there is that little bit
so we're projecting maybe a little bit as to like the level of violence, but still, like, why are kids? What I want to know is, and I'm sure you were going to touch on this.
But real quick is outside of the dragging, the other thing they did was put the one kid in a hula hoop and then shake it violently. But then it was okay.
What I want to know is how that went on for so long that all of these things were able to happen. Like at my kid's school during recess and lunch, we have parent volunteers and then we have the staff and they are watching the yard.
Everything. Every
corner of the yard there's got eyes on it. And also there are video cameras all over. We see every inch of that school and we know when these things happen, who did what to whom and when and how. And the fact that it went on for so long that this kid was able to sustain the multitude of incidents and injuries in that time is crazy to me. Where the fuck are the grown-ups? Where are you?
And that was just the one kid, because after they were done with that kid, there was 6 of them on that kid. About 4 of them went over to the other Korean kid that the first Korean kid are like best friends with. And they basically did the same thing to him as well. They like punched him, they kicked him, and they also put him in a hula hoop and shook him as well. And then the report was that 5 days later, the first kid got jumped again. And this time sustaining very similar injuries, getting kicked, punched, things like that. So I made that first video with the limited information that I had. These 5 or 6 non-Korean parents started coming onto my Instagram wall of that video and started like leaving barrages of comments of like the one who actually was an Asian mother was claiming that I'm lying.
Wait, so the Asian mother of one of the perpetrators?
No, of just a child in the classroom. I don't think her child was involved in any way.
Oh, okay.
But she left a comment saying that like I have misinformation and that it was actually the 2 Korean kids who were bullies. So her claim was that these girls were building a fort on the playground.
Okay.
These 2 Korean kids came over, kept knocking it down.
Okay.
The girls kept saying, stop. They went to go tell the teacher as this heroic white child came over and told the Korean boys to stop. The girls tell the teacher does nothing about it, which I was like, you believe this? As a parent, you believe that the teacher did nothing? So then she claims that because the teacher did nothing, this heroic white boy had to recruit all these other heroic white
vigilante kids. Justice for the the block.
Yeah, and stop these two villainous Korean kids who are just like Godzillaing these like girls is like fucking fort, you know? So they're leaving that information. This one white father of one of the kids is going around saying that I'm the dangerous one. They're claiming that I'm instigating such anger and vitriol that I'm going to send a school shooter to their school and put danger to their kids. And of course, it's like really hard to be like, no, that's ridiculous. Cause I'm like, it's not an impossibility. Sure. There's like a 0.1% chance that someone could do that. But in reality,
that's a reality in any school.
But they're like, you're the one advertising the location. I was like, do you mean the location that the school advertises on their website? And they're like, yeah, but you're the one who showed it on a map. I was like, I didn't show their locations. I was like, it's such an aerial view that like just gives like a general vicinity. But I was like, the school puts the location in their names. I was like, Larchmont Wilshire is on Wilshire Ave. Of course. I was like, Larchmont Fairfax is on Fairfax Ave. I was like, Larchmont Selma is on Selma Ave. Why are they all on avenues? I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like they advertise it there.
Right.
So I was like, okay. But I was like, not you, a white man, making person of color dangerous. And then I looked that guy up. He's the director of human resources for SoCalGas. And he used to be a lawyer before that. So I was like, this is wild. That a lawyer and a director of HR doesn't understand the basic definition of one, racism. But then two, I was like, now as a director of HR for a large and diverse company that services a very diverse community, I was like, you also are showing that you have a propensity to turn people of color into the dangerous one. I was like, what is happening here?
I'm trying to approach this like as a parent, I understand their fear.
For sure.
Right. That is a very real fear.
They were claiming that the school, basically all the parents were scared to send their children to school the day after my video because of me. I was like,
I mean, that seems a little excessive because nobody wants to have the place where your children go to school painted negatively because that feels scary.
Of course.
And unfortunately, in the world we live in,
it is
these things are real. Mm-hmm. So I understand that.
100%.
But I also have to, weigh in on like then what are we doing to change the systems in our school that it doesn't receive this kind of negative attention? Just telling the guy who's saying it to stop saying it doesn't make the problem go away. That's the issue. Right. And the issue is like, so for me, I'm like, I want this to be approached in a broader sense. Like, obviously, I don't want the place where my children go to school to be highlighted negatively in any sort of way, because of course, negative attention brings negative people, negative, whatever.
Yeah.
But the negativity is there because nothing has been done about something that has brought this negativity to our community. That's why people are upset. That's why people are writing reviews of the school. That's why people are contacting the principal, because you guys have not addressed this issue. That's why, because you guys are more focused on this guy than why these kids got beat up and nobody did anything about it 3 different times.
Yeah, well, that was the crazy part that I was telling them. I was like, here you are making up scenarios where I'm the dangerous one. And I was like, you're literally ignoring the fact that the school that you send your children to are showing that they have a pattern of behavior where they do not care about the safety of your children while they are outside with a barely 6-foot-tall fence separating your children from strangers who could kidnap them. I was like, and here you are making up scenarios to be mad at me. And in reality, your children are currently in danger if they're at school right now.
You're projecting your fears about what happens to your kids at school onto this person. And like the real fears, they are there. They are there for me every day I send my kids to school for a multitude of reasons.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. But that's the thing is like you're focused on the wrong thing, man. You guys are focusing on the wrong fucking thing. Like, why is it? I would want to know if I were a parent at that school, be like, this happened 3 times. What do you mean 3 times? 3 times these kids were like attacked by 6 other kids?
First graders, basically the youngest of the group in that school.
I mean,
outside of kindergarten.
My friend has a kid who got in trouble last week for just saying something that was off color. And like, let alone like, I'm not saying like my school's perfect because it's not, but like violence, first offense, immediate reprimand.
That's what I said. I was like, whatever happened to this like no
to zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance
tolerance for violence. Like,
Yeah.
let alone vigilante, whatever the reason was, you can't just say, well, we're taking matters into our own hands. You're 6. You're 6 years old. What matters are you taking? What do you mean? You're 7 years old. You know, you don't have the capacity to do that. And nor is it your responsibility to do that. And so if one of two things is true, if the first teacher actually didn't do anything, that should come down on the fucking teacher. Secondly, if she did do something and the kids, you know, took it upon themselves to do, then this comes down to onto the parents and onto the teachers, because this is concerted. Like, you both are responsible for what your children do at
Correct.
school.
And after speaking to many different teachers, I've learned that it really is on the teacher to
Yes.
keep it from happening.
Of course.
Because when you're able to cultivate an environment where there's understanding, learning, and growth with other kids, this does not happen.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? So it starts at home, but it also continues on with the school. The crazy thing is, one of the parents was on the comments being like, the fact that like you're insinuating that 6-year-olds can do a hate crime is despicable. And I was like, that's crazy that you're saying that to someone who almost died at the hands of a 7-year-old when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, calling me derogatory names. I was like,
Yes.
so what are you trying to say? And then you know
Right.
what she's responding with? She's like, you clearly have trauma about that and you should seek help about it.
Wow. Fuck this fucking bitch. Send me that text.
You want to know the crazier
comment.
part is she is a fertility coach.
Of course.
Who is also a Zionist, who told me on my comments that she's a proud Zionist. So I was like,
so these
all of this
things
makes sense
all
for you.
track.
Yeah, I was like, all
That
of this
tracks.
makes sense for you. So then after I made that first video, surprise, surprise, both of the parents reached out to me of the Korean kids. Now, both of these parents started sending me all of the evidence they have, while also being like, hey, can you also just make sure that if we do pursue something legal that you're not doing anything? I was like, of course, I would never do that. So like, you know, censored out everything I possibly could. But basically, both of the kids' parents have been emailing the teacher in the school multiple times.
Just real quick. Are the kids children of immigrants, or are they second generation kids?
I didn't ask that outright, but it seems that the one is children of immigrants.
Okay.
Because when the one parent sent me snapshots of like their screen, their iPhone was set to Korean.
Okay.
So like their system was
highly
all in
likely.
Korean.
Yeah.
And but both parents speak English very fluently, at least in text over email. But what I can confirm is that both kids speak with a heavy Korean accent. So both kids speak Korean at home and are fluent in Korean, but because of that, they do speak English with a heavy Korean accent.
Okay.
Which makes sense because a lot of people are like, the school is like 40% Korean. This can't even happen. And I'm like, it sure can, because that's in addition to racism, there's this thing called xenophobia.
Yeah.
So even amongst a sea of Korean kids, 2 kids can stand out because they have an accent.
And suffice it to say, even Korean kids could go after these 2 Korean kids for that reason.
That plays into it.
Okay.
So the parents sent me these emails, and basically to find out that it's not an isolated incident, that those 2 of the kids that were involved in the altercation had been bullying these 2 Korean kids since kindergarten. So it's been happening for a year. This wasn't a one-off incident. It's been happening for a year. In addition, they sent me email correspondence from their principal of that school, who after almost a month finally went over the CCTV footage. So she didn't even look over the CCTV footage for almost a month. Or at least she didn't talk about it for almost a month.
Yeah, I was going to say, she didn't see it or she didn't talk about it.
And she realized that the school was at fault and she was trying to cover it up. She refuses to send the clips to the parents. In your school, do they send it to the parents?
If you ask for it, I think they have to.
She claims that it is a privacy concern for the children because they're underage.
That's fucking bullshit. I call bullshit. I don't know the law on it, and I could be wrong.
She refuses to send it to the parents.
Excuse me, but violence is violence, right? So assault is assault, whether you're a child or not. I mean, right? So if a crime has been committed at school, I want to see what fucking happened to my kid.
Also, there's this thing called censoring.
Yeah, of course.
You can literally blur out
Fine.
kids' faces. But like, I thought that was weird too. So they claim that. So the principal, after a month, sends a play-by-play. in this play-by-play, what actually happened was the white kids were, so there's this in the schoolyard. It's a very small schoolyard.
Yeah.
And my friend even drove by and they're like, majority of it's filled up with cars. Or so like the play area is really small.
Mm-hmm.
So in this schoolyard, there is this janky ass couch that just sits outside.
An outside couch?
Yeah, it's gross. It sits up against the fence. And
What about
I'm
when it
assuming the
rains?
kids maybe like pulled it out a little bit,
Yeah.
but they were building a fort behind this couch.
Okay.
Not the girls, the white boy and his friends. At the same time, the two Korean boys are playing close by because, again, small playground, but also they're chasing after following this caterpillar. They're like, oh my God, look at this caterpillar. And they're following it. The caterpillar chooses to crawl behind that couch. So the Korean kids follow it. The white kids are like, this is our fort. We don't want you here. And the Korean kids are like, I'm pretty sure we're allowed to be here.
Yeah.
We're just playing with this caterpillar. We're not even bothering you guys. The white kids are like, nope, not acceptable. They start pushing them out. And that's when they start assaulting the Korean boys.
Okay.
And like in this photo that the parents sent me of that couch, you can see a basket of balls and hula hoops right next to it. So all of it tracks. They then get assaulted. The Korean kids. So the school is basically claiming that it couldn't have been racist because, and I have photos of all the kids involved. Obviously I didn't show them because, you know, that's wrong, you know, but I saw them because the parents were like, I think you need to see their photos to have actual reference of what's happening. There's like about 10 kids involved. They're all like blonde white, except for two. One looks like he's maybe part black, part white. The one kid is Korean. Yeah. The one Korean kid is the one that assaulted the one first grader on the second day. He was the one who was involved with like the other kids. So because that kid is Korean, they're like, this can't be racist. And I'm like,
absolutely can.
Absolutely it can.
What are you talking about?
If that kid is being isolated because he has an accent, it's already become racial and Xena related. But yeah, I was like, is that a word? You know what I mean?
Xena related.
Xena related. Like
the warrior
princess. Xena. But
is that her thing?
Oh yes, she did. I forgot about that. Her and Gabrielle.
Who?
Her blonde.
I've never watched the show.
I did. But either way. So, but not only that, I was like, people of color can be racist towards people of color.
Even their own people.
But I was like, also there's this thing called internalized
racism.
See how the word racism is in there? So, but it's like such a whitewashed way of thinking. You know what I mean? Like we have a black friend. This can't be racist.
Internalized racism.
Oh yeah. You know, racism is literally in the name of internalized racism. So that's what they're claiming. So outside of that.
Regardless. Okay, let's say we took racism out of it entirely. I think there was definitely a motivation because they were Korean kids and that's how they, you know, were singled out for that reason. But let's just talk about the kids are not safe at school. That is fundamentally the issue. Why they're not safe at school is also a huge factor. But the fact that they are being subjected to this level of violence is unacceptable. Yeah,
neither of these things should have happened because two of them have been bullying the Korean kids for a year. So if that had been appropriately addressed, if that kid had learned, if that was taught to them, if he had learned to appreciate the differences, this would not have happened, which is why I was like, the school is actually at fault.
Yeah.
And the craziest part is, well, not craziest. The second boy, the Korean boy that was assaulted on the same day, not the one that was assaulted on 2 different days, his younger brother's in TK at that same school, also dealing with racism-related bullying for his like accented speech.
What the fuck?
There is a kid in TK.
Oh, they're just really little babies.
They're not even 5 years old yet.
Not even. They're like kindergarten. 4.
Yeah. Is going around hitting this kid in the head.
Is this one of the parents are telling you this?
Yeah. And there's email correspondence between him and the TK teacher whose last name is Chang. So this person is also Asian. And one of the emails, the teacher goes, oh, I didn't even see that.
This school is a fucking problem.
The school is a problem. She's like, I didn't even see that. And nothing is going on with that either. The incident with the first graders happened almost a month ago. The kids still have not returned to school. In fact, when I spoke to the one parent for the first time on Friday, they were like, sorry, I'm going to have to send that to you later. I'm at the ER with my son. And I was like, for what? She's like, my son is having really bad stomach and other like head injury or something. And I was like, is it stemming from the incident at school? She's like, we don't know, but she's like, nothing else has happened.
Oh my God.
Not only that, that's just the physical aspects. Those two boys, they both have
trauma.
Severe PTSD.
I'm sure.
Not even just like, oh, it sounds like PTSD. No, diagnosed by psychiatrists.
Oh, wow.
Diagnosed by psychiatrists, PTSD. The one is waking up in cold sweats in the middle of the night and urinating himself because he's too afraid to go to the bathroom.
Such a telltale sign of trauma.
Yep. He's also starting to exhibit signs of violence towards his TK brother.
Ugh.
He gets easily frustrated and starts using his hands instead of his words.
Yep.
Which is all signs of trauma.
Yep.
The other kid is starting to have panic attacks whenever he's in public because the amount of people. And so even with all of that, so remember how I said the campuses are split up per grade?
Mm-hmm.
So the principal of one of the high school satellite locations, after my first video went out, emailed the school, like the faculty, the teachers, and the students and their parents, all sent out this one email. In this email, he claims that there are claims circulating on social media and in the media right now claiming that Larchmont, Wilshire is hiding a race-related incident. He's like, this isn't true. He then goes on to say, I have not investigated it personally because it's not my school.
Then how the fuck do you know it's not true?
But I also know that the school has completed an investigation, has communicated to the parents, and have implemented words, quote, restorative justice.
This sounds like a lie. Has any of that happened? Motherfucker. What
this
a piece
principal
of shit.
Is Korean.
Fucking straight up lying
His
ass
name
motherfucker.
Is Mike Kang. He's Korean, and he's lying to protect racism in the school over his own community of children.
Wow.
Which is not surprising. You want to know why?
Why?
Remember Chunhee Han?
No.
The kid that was pushed by the man on the scooter and then suffered a seizure like 5 days later and passed away. He was in high school.
Yes.
Do you want to know what high school he went to?
Shut the fuck up.
He went to Mike Kang's Larchmont School. And then someone emailed me the email communication that went out after Chunhee passed away. It was just, oh, there was a student named Chunhee here on this date at this time. He suffered a stroke and passed away. That was it.
What the
There was no mention of the fact that there was most likely a race-related attack not too far from the school in the community where their students live, where his school specifically is about 40 to 44% Korean. And in no way, shape, or form did this principal think that it was related enough, it was important enough to tell his 40 to 44% Korean population of students that, hey, there might be a small % chance that there's someone out there that is attacking people because of the way they look, because they might be Korean. So those of you who are, you might want to just be careful on your walk home and make sure you are walking with a buddy or like not even for the safety of his own students. Did he put this in this email? He just glazed over and was like, Junie just died of a random stroke. What?
No, are you serious? And I know you well enough to know that you're not going to just say something unless you've seen it. Like, oh my God.
Email.
Mike Kang, you have a lot of explaining to do. That is horrific.
Yeah. So it's just, there's just like multiple showings of patterns of behavior where they just like put the school above the students.
Wow. And but to what end? Like, what's the point? Like, I mean, I know the point is that he doesn't want to lose because funding, right? Charter schools are funded by the state and privately.
So multiple parents have also, so many parents, mostly Korean. The Korean ones are mad. They're very upset because they're like, this is a habitual problem. Couple of the high
But also when your school is 40% Korean, like you're going to fuck this up? Fumble the bag, as they say?
Multiple high school students have also DM'd me saying that even in their high schools, this is on brand for Larchmont. They say that they protect the bullies all the time. You know, of course, there are also parents who are like, oh my God, I sent my child here. They've never had a problem. Idea. This is great, you know? But there are a bunch of students who are like, nope, bullies oftentimes get, you know,
barely a slap on the wrist.
And then there are multiple parents who are like, yeah, so the one thing you should know about Larchmont Charter is that like a lot of charter schools, when they have donation events, they'll maybe raise like tens of thousands of dollars. They said Larchmont Charter is one of the only charters in the area that when they have like fundraising events, they'll raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. They said there's been multiple times when it's hit over $1 million.
Yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense as to why you would protect the name of the school rather than the students themselves. But these things always come out.
Yeah, like Mike Kang, I'm pretty sure he had no idea.
He has no idea.
That like 20 of his students were going to email me that exact email. Like so many of his students were like, you will not believe what our principal
straight up fucking lie.
To just lie. That's why I said, I was like, it's crazy that he said restorative justice has been served when those two kids to this day have not returned to school and the one just went to the ER. They're literally pissing themselves. Like, what restorative justice? Like, that's crazy.
I have to look him up. I have to see what he looks like. I have to put the...
He took his face down from LinkedIn, but my one friend still found it.
Is it him?
No.
There's probably a lot of Mike Kings, huh?
Oh, Mike Kang, look up Larchmont.
I did. Oh my God, there's so many Mike Kangs.
That's crazy.
I can't go through them all. There's too many.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Hopefully we can get the parents justice. I've been sending the parents like a list of some of the best civil rights attorneys that speak Korean as well. So yeah, I've been urging them to sue the shit out of this school.
Wow, that's...
Like, we're talking about school with millions of dollars?
As they should. As they absolutely should. Because at least really investigate, because there clearly was no investigation done whatsoever.
No, there wasn't.
And then to claim that there was one and that restorative justice has been served is like...
And saying that they're not hiding anything when they're not even sending out the videos to the parents so that they can like... The parents also filed police reports.
Good.
Nothing has happened until that first video dropped. And the parents even said it. They're like, thank you so much. They're like, the police haven't even started the investigation. Or she's like, and the school has been very dodgy. They're like, until that video.
Yeah, interesting how things happen.
They're like, all of a sudden now the police are starting to investigate the first claim.
Oh, now you care. Oh, interesting.
They're like, and now like the school wants us to come in to have like a sit down meeting to go over stuff. They're like,
fascinating.
Yeah, how fascinating.
How fascinating. I wonder what sparked the new interest. What inspired the new interest? I wonder what it could be.
Apparently some jackass.
Some jackass fucking insider on the internet. Yeah. Look at you.
Some guy who's just cloud chasing apparently and chasing all that Instagram money.
And like, we have to be like fair. Like, obviously, like we're projecting our own feelings of like being bullied as kids for being Korean or whatever. So like, I definitely recognize that. And I try to be very mindful of those things. But as a parent...
But we're also not one of those people who are like, we're traumatized from bullying, so everything is bullying.
Right.
We're going to make a mountain out of every molehill. No.
Right. When 6 kids attack 2 kids for the same thing on 3 different occasions at a school... It needs to be addressed.
Right, because it's clearly systemic.
Foundationally, we need to find out what the spark point is. Why did these things happen? Why did they continue to happen? Why was there no intervention from people that are, they are tasked
Why
to
is
make
there
these
no
things
supervision for 6-year-olds outside?
Right. Why is there a 4-year-old getting punched in the head repeatedly by another classmate? Like, why are these things continuing to happen at a school that clearly has enough money to hire somebody to be on the grounds at all times and make sure that these things don't happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you raised hundreds of thousands of dollars at your fucking fundraiser. Where's the fucking money going if not to somebody who's supervising the goddamn yard?
They also have a South Korean flag waving in their yard.
Get that fucking flag.
It's so crazy.
Don't.
Like, you can't make this up. You can't. almost like you can't make up white people in England trademarking pho.
Speaking of England.
No, I already segued it.
I segued your segue. I guess we're moving on to so remember that story about the 2 white people who traveled to Vietnam and loved pho so much that they wanted to own it.
Own it.
I love it so much, Daddy. I want to own pho. You want a bowl? You want a bowl of pho? No, I want to own the whole thing.
Oompa loompa.
So they open a pho restaurant.
Imagine if they turned a girl into a bowl of pho.
That's funny. Rewrite. So they opened pho restaurants in the UK, and I think they opened quite a few of them. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's like 20 of them or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And
overnight.
then I could be wrong, but we'll fact check that later. But they also trademarked the word pho because the restaurant is just called pho. So that's, I think, where
Her restaurant is called pho.
Right.
Let's be real.
Well, that's what they said that it was called. I don't even know. Anyway, I don't know anything about trademarking, or, I'm not a trademark attorney, obviously.
I'm actually more upset at the country of the UK for allowing that to happen.
Right. I think that is...
Talk about some uncultured
right. They have no
employee.
idea.
Yeah.
So they were given the trademark, and that was in like 2005, I think. And then in 2013, they went after this restaurant called Mofa.
Wait, it happened that long ago?
Well, yeah. So this, yeah. And so then they sent them a cease and desist and told them they had to rebrand everything. And this is like a small mom and pop Vietnamese, restaurant.
Vietnamese people.
So they were like, oh, okay. And they were like scared. So they did it. And I think it raised. So then there's this woman, and this is again, the power of social media. Her name is Yen. And she makes this video about how it still pisses her off every time she walks by one of these restaurants, knowing that they own the word pho. So she makes a video about it. And then she also did some further research and found out that very recently, I think last year, they reinstated, or what do you call it? Reapplied and re-trademarked the word pho. And she's like, it pisses me off every time. And so then, I got wind of it and I made a video about it. Cause like, what do you mean you own the word pho? What do you mean? This is...
Hey, I woke up today and I decided I want to own cake.
I like sandwiches. They're all mine now.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so ridiculous.
No, not even all sandwiches. I want to own Italian subs.
Yeah, specific
Specifically
Italian subs. And, so then, they got all this backlash on social media again. But I think this time, for some reason, it was different. I don't know what made it different. And I don't know, because they got backlash when they tried to win after that Mofa place. But this time it was different. And the
severity of the backlash?
I think so. I think it was really harsh.
Of people knew, yeah.
And then also they put out this statement like, no, it's not what you guys think. Like, we would never go after a Vietnamese company. We would never have to go after a Vietnamese, but you did.
Yeah, what about Mofo?
And like, it's not even that you didn't, it's that you could. You could at any point be like, you know what? I've had a change of heart. You could do that if you wanted to.
Because if you weren't going to, then
why have it?
Why trademark it?
Why do you need it?
Right.
And so...
Not to mention, like, that's like as colonizer as it gets. I want to own it.
Right. No one else can own it anymore. It is mine. Like, I mean, and then what we're supposed to take the promise of somebody who's trying to colonize fucking like, come on. We see what happens when when we trust people who are colonizing us. Remember the United States? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see what happens.
Yep.
And so there's this big, it blows up on the internet again. And, people are writing reviews and, threatening boycotts and all this stuff. And I just saw this morning, Yen posted a video today saying that they decided that they were going to go ahead and suspend the trademark. We won. And I'm like, wait, we never win. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, and when I say we, I mean the collective people who think that this is wrong to do. But Vietnamese people specifically, it's like, I felt such a sense of like relief and justice. Finally, it's like, this has been returned to the people who it should have never been taken from in the first place. And like, God damn it. That is so fucking awesome. And, people downplay things like TikTok and social media and they think it's so frivolous and stupid and it doesn't actually mean anything. Well, it did. It did mean something. And it actually did incite change, a positive change. And I think to see that And I don't know what's going to happen now with this pho restaurant. I don't know if this is just going to, they're not going to close. Well, but see, then it's like redemption. Do we allow them to redeem? Can they be redeemed?
No.
Ed. Oh, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like I try to play it fair because they should never have done it. And maybe their reasoning was like, well, we just are going to get it so that nobody can ever do that to anybody because we won't do it. But they did. So that was obviously maybe not the motivation. I don't know. But if they
so
try,
funny.
can you right or wrong?
It's just so funny because it's like, of course, the UK is going to UK.
Right. Obviously. Somebody said, why are the pyramids still in Egypt? Or why are the pyramids in Egypt? Because they couldn't fit into the British Museum.
It's only funny because it's true.
It's only funny because it's true. But then there's the question of like, is redemption possible? Can you do something that you undoubtedly did that was wrong?
I don't know.
That you shouldn't have done, and can you correct it? And if so, can you be given public forgiveness for it? I don't know. That's such a hard thing.
But I think it's more of like, can you show that you've changed? Like, for instance, that mom talk lady.
Oh my God, don't get me started on that woman.
But for instance, like that mom talk lady, right? Like she's claiming that she's changed.
She's full of shit. There's a difference. I'll tell you why she's full of shit. Quick recap. Mom talk is a thing. The moms of Utah got their own show. So obviously all of these other little mom talk things are sprouting up. So because
white people love to, I can do that.
If you can do that, I can do that. And I can do it better and I'm going to own it. Somebody's going to try to trademark mom talk now.
That's that second part. I can do it better.
I can do it better.
Yep.
So there's this woman. Her name is Aaryn Williams. It's spelled A-A-R-Y-N. I'm like, that is dangerously close to Aaryn. Anyway, so she decides that she's going to start her own Texas Mom Talk, but she already has a history. Her history is that she was on the show Big Brother season 15, and she said,
which by the way is like one of the most successful shows ever.
It's been on Brother? For like, forever.
For like 30 seasons.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you don't know, Big Brother is like a show where you just go on and you're just like recorded and you have to like.
It was like one of the most first. Is like one of the most first. What?
One of the firstest.
Yeah, one of the most first.
Did you just colonize the word first?
It's mine. Like reality TV shows.
Where people have to live in a house and they have to compete to stay and you have to vote people out, like that kind of stuff. And so she goes on it and she says some incredibly racist things towards specifically Asian contestants, Black contestants. She says homophobic things, gay contestants. Like really like, you know, why don't they go eat rice or like slanty eyes or like, you know, whatever. She just
something about like how she looks like she just ate a chihuahua or something.
Or somebody killed her chihuahua.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know. Just really horrible racist shit.
She says things like no one's going to listen to that queer.
Yeah.
I think she says.
Yes. So she gets kicked off the show and she receives a ton of backlash. I don't think she got kicked out, I think, organically, not by the show, but like from the people.
Team Beats voted her off. Good for them.
And, you know, in her exit interview, like she gets booed.
How long ago was her season?
10, 11 years ago.
Okay.
It was a while. And what I want to, so that her exit interview, which brings me to my first point, is how did she think that she was going to say all of these racist things specifically towards an Asian contestant and then have to sit and be interviewed by Julie fucking Chen? Like, hello? Like, you have to have a little forethought. Like think a little bit. Just think one or two steps ahead of what's going to happen. So anyway, so she gets, you know, raked through the coals because of everything that she said, rightfully so. So, but then she like gets all this backlash. She gets fired from her job and like dropped from her.
She got fired from her job?
Oh yeah, she got
from this.
From Big Brother.
Oh, after the Big Brother.
Yeah, after the Big Brother thing. She gets dropped from her modeling contract and whatever. So then eventually she reemerges and I guess she makes a name for herself on YouTube and on Instagram. And then she decides that she wants to start a Mom Talk of Texas. And did you hear about what the process was to be on Texas Mom Talk?
No.
Okay, usually it's just like 7 friends who are like, let's start a Mom Talk group. She took applications. Went through applications, subsequently blocked a lot of moms who applied.
She blocked them?
Yeah.
So like they couldn't follow up with her?
I guess is maybe my guess.
That's so wild.
When you look we're going to show a picture of what this mom talk group looks like. Yeah. They're all carbon copies of each other, like Stepford wives of mom talk. You know what I mean? Like they all have the same extensions. They all have the same curling iron. They all wear their makeup the same. Balayage. But yeah, nice, whatever it's nice called. Reference. I like it. They all are identical. Skinny, blondish, white women.
Yeah, which like at least Utah had just the smidgenest of diversity.
I think there might be one Hispanic, Latina-looking mom in the Texas mom talk. Really hard to tell.
But white passing,
or
at least blends in with the palette.
Is definitely not the outlier, in any way. I did see one mom who was shorter and a little bit more like heavy set, but she's always in the background back. And I haven't seen her since. So I'm like, where'd she go? So obviously
she must be like a relative.
Maybe. Or they thought that was their diversity. So then Aaryn then gets backlash for all the things that she had said. And she like comes on and she's like,
I don't know why.
I just, I've apologized for the insensitive things that I've said. And I've done it so many times. It's like, I don't care. You can do this till the day you fucking die. You can apologize for the rest of your fucking life for all I fucking care. Not the point. But she's like, I've changed, I've grown, I have made my amends. I've done the work. It's like, let's go back a year. You did an interview with Laura Trump on Laura Trump's podcast where all Laura Trump did was say, oh, I feel so bad for you, the way you were treated after Big Brother, the way that they vilified you, and the way that you lost your job, all because of the jokes that you made. And she said, and so then she says, this is a year ago, mind you, a decade later. She's like, oh yeah, the way that they like painted me because of the jokes that I made. Like, first of all, they weren't jokes. They were racist remarks are not homophobic jokes. Exactly. So like you're telling me that you've grown, but now you're accepting the sympathy of somebody who's sympathizing with you because of the racist things that you said. And now you're categorizing them as jokes and as insensitive instead of racist fucking shit that you said. It's like, you haven't fucking grown. And then furthermore, when I look at the applicants that you accepted into your group, there is no diversity in that group whatsoever. What have you learned? What proof have you given me that proves to me that you have learned even one fucking thing about anything that you've talked about? Like nothing. Nothing shows to me that you've proved that you have grown and that you have not only become not racist, but that you're actively anti-racist. You are not. I'm going to teach my girls better. How? How? In what way? You have not accepted responsibility at all. So then she says in her video.
Also, how is there not a single Vietnamese woman in Texas Mom Talk? You're telling me not one?
Are we circling back to Vietnam? Or to the Vietnamese people?
Yeah, well, there's just a lot of them in Texas.
Oh, are there? I didn't know that.
There's a huge Vietnamese population.
I didn't know that. But there had to be, of course, it's Texas. You're going to get moms of all walks of life.
So many.
Also,
there's
like
one Latina?
Absolutely, exactly.
One in Texas?
So I have yet to see what this growth is. And now she's like, the haters. It's like holding you accountable for the things that you've said and done does not mean that we are haters.
You're the hater.
You're the fuck. Yeah.
Hate people of color and gay people. So
I'm gonna stick to this one because the things that she said, like honestly, like I'm gonna say this just because it's just my close friends listening right now. If she said that shit to me, or I found out that she said that shit about me on television in a house where I had to live with her, I can't say that I wouldn't have.
Yeah. People would still be asking you about that bald spot you have in the back of your head.
Like, oh, did it hurt when you got put through that fucking wall by that Korean lady? Like,
and Dad,
a
bunch of your hair ripped out.
I don't rip hair. I just go straight.
No, I mean like slam and take out.
Just over and over. So I have yet to see this growth. And that's the thing, right? It's always the go-tos. Like, you guys, it was so long ago. I was just a kid. First of all, you're 2 years old. And the things that you said are from a lifetime of living that life, a lifetime of hearing those things, of letting those things become who you are. Okay. And you don't just undo that because you decided, you don't just get it undone because you got backlash from being on a TV show. It doesn't happen that way, And so maybe I just
also
don't
because
like her.
if she had actually worked and changed, there would be evidence of it. First off, that interview with Laura Trump wouldn't exist. There would be other.
It wouldn't exist.
There would be other interviews where she was like, "Oh, I hated the way you were treated." And be like, "No, I kind of deserve that."
No,
and
I was treated exactly the way I should have been treated.
And since then, I've done this.
That was the catalyst that really opened my eyes to what I was doing and really confirmed for me that the things that I had heard were not okay.
Yeah. In fact,
so please don't feel bad for me.
You should be able to see from the diversity of my Mom Talk group that how much I've learned to grow to accept differences and not look for other versions of me.
And that's the thing is like, okay, so here was this golden opportunity for her to say like, okay, all these Mom Talk groups all kind of are the same, right? They all wear the same outfits, the same clothes, and they bring the same shit to the table. What if I started this Mom Talk group where we were all so different? We have disabled moms, we have Black moms, we have Asian moms, we have Jewish moms, we have moms with kids with disabilities, we have whatever. This group is so diverse because moms are so diverse, and it is so.
This is what I learned from Big Brother.
I'm about to start a fucking mom talk group because this is what real moms go through, and having the diverse voices of moms of all walks of life is what's so important to the motherhood experience.
I started like, I don't think Susie knows she's going to be doing dances all the time.
Oh my God, whatever. It's going to be a dance-free mom talk. That's my safe space. But that should be the goal, right? If you have learned so much from this, this experience had to have affected her negatively. I mean, had to have. So in that negativity to try to create something that is so much more meaningful and powerful to the people who you have offended would prove to me, and I'm not telling her that she should have or could have or should do this. I think now it's all performative. But that would have been proof to me, like, hey, I can take the lemons that I picked and make lemonade from it. These are the lemons that I harvested. And now I'm going to make lemonade from it. I'm going to put together this group of incredible women who have so much to offer and so much to teach. And we have so much we can learn from and put them all together in a room. We're going to do silly dances, but we're going to also have really serious conversations about how different our motherhood experiences are from each other. Like, I'm really about to start this.
I don't think any of them do that.
No.
I don't think any of them have anything to do with being
what do
a
they
mom
even
or
do?
their kids. It's all just dances.
Is that really all
That's really all they do.
They don't talk about being a mother?
No, from what I've seen, it's just trends. Like the trends of dancing, doing those like non-dancing trends, like those games, or like, I don't know.
Then what's the fucking point? Just to have a bunch of women that look just like you standing around in sweatsuits?
It's like
so weird.
It's like a Mean Girls group of just like moms.
Right. And like, that's the thing is like they had to apply. They had to sign NDAs. Like,
I mean, that's basically what it is. It's like a bunch of moms that like wish they were still plastics and they think that TikTok is school.
Right.
That's what Mom Talk is.
Well, then I guess I'm Regina George. Actually, no, Regina George was the villain. Take that out.
You're Katie?
No, everybody was kind of
Katie
rotten in that show.
Everyone sucks on that
show,
really.
Even Tina Fey's character sucks.
Tina Fey's kind of always the worst.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm quite done with Aaryn Williams at this point. Because I don't want to bring her down necessarily, but I think it's really important to illustrate that like the transgressions of your lifetime will come back to haunt you. And I'm not saying that you can't learn and you can't grow and you can't evolve. And this comes back to the original point is like, where is redemption found? Where is forgiveness found? Where is, empathy found? I don't know, but it's the proof is in the pudding, right? Like I want to see that you've done it. And I've definitely not seen it with this Aaryn person, but with this restaurant group. Is this like, okay, we're gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God.
We're gonna fix?
No.
Redeem?
No. Sorry. Anyway. We're not gonna
Restitution?
No, the subverting of the trademark.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
suppress? Was that the word I'm looking for?
Release?
Sorry, Ron, if you're listening to this in your headphones, trying to be like, hurry up and get to the word, you morons.
Drop the trademark.
Yeah, the fact that they're going to drop the trademark, like, is that indicative? Is that a sign? Or is that a step in the right direction?
It's like the same thing with Baba, right? For me, unfortunately, I feel like the only recourse that says, oops, we were wrong, we're sorry, is to close up shop. The Babas of the world, whatever the pho company is, the Better Bobas. I feel like the only thing that tells me that, oh, we took a misstep. And even though we no longer feel like we're doing it better, because of the way we started, I feel like this is just forever unclean now.
It's tainted.
So we're just going to close up shop and like go open up a fucking cake pop company or something.
But at the same time too, though, like there are real people behind these corporations, companies, businesses who have, staff, who have people who rely on them for their businesses.
So for instance,
there's that.
I feel like there's always stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about that's probably more nefarious. Like, for instance, Better Boba, I found out after the fact because, again, people DM'd me about it, Allison, that
throwback.
Allison Sada and Parth Sada, who own Better Boba, they started Better Boba by stealing their Vietnamese workers' boba recipe.
Oh, that's
and the
bad.
whole time promising her, oh, once this brand gets off the ground, we're gonna open up a shop for you with your name on it.
No, they did. That's fucked up. Did they ever close up? Are they done?
Not that I know of. And as far as I know, I think that Vietnamese woman might still work for them. And they're still stringing her along. And they basically, I wasn't 100% sure of the story, but it almost sounded like she had a shop. They like bought her out. Like they employed her, stole her boba formula to turn it into a packaged good boba. Yeah, so like,
God, people are so
they're
fucking
fucking
terrible.
evil as
God
fuck.
damn it.
I want Allison and Parth Sada to like fucking close up shop. That wasn't even the end of it. Apparently then for their packaged boba, they almost tried to steal their other worker that they had, their employee. She started like this cup company where she was making cups. They basically stole her design for their shop.
This is terrible.
Yeah,
what a terrible web of lies.
Horrible people. So that's what I mean. I'm saying that like the type of people who make baba, the type of people who open a pho company, I don't think it's a one-off.
Right.
I think they have this perpetual problem with, I can do that.
Propensity for owning everything. Propensity for stealing.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, these savages, they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
I do.
This Vietnamese lady could never do what I could do. Yeah.
This like Vietnamese immigrant, like what the fuck? Her name's not even English. Like what the fuck does she know?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it's that mindset. So for me, maybe it's slight projection, but like, I feel like the only recourse is for them to close. That's the only way that I will be like, you know what? I believe you.
Something I have to think about.
Do you know what I mean?
I want to believe that there's I understand like the people, these specific people.
Okay.
These specific people, fuck them. But like just the concept, the idea of like, and maybe it's because like I can't live in a world where I don't believe that people can become better because that's just too horrific an idea.
I think they can, but I feel like if you were actually authentically became better, you would understand the problems with how your company started and you would be like, I don't want this.
I don't want this.
This is not how I want
it's so sullied and it's
empire.
Yeah. Built on the backs of lies.
You see what I mean? So for me,
it's
like, and I get it, maybe because part of it led me to it because I was also like, I don't know what it looks like. So it's because I don't know, I'm like starting to revert back towards like, maybe closing is the only recourse. Maybe that's why I can't think of what it looks like because of it. You know, I don't know. Or it's because it doesn't ever exist. So I'm like, we don't know what it looks like because there's no precedent. But for me, it's like, I really feel like if they were really like, man, I really listened and I really paid attention and I've really learned what you guys were saying, I'd be like, this feels dirty to me now.
You really said really so many times.
Yeah, I really did.
Anyway, we gotta go wrap it up.
But basically, don't try to own things that aren't yours, especially
or like you can enjoy it. You don't have to own everything.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You can take part in it. You know what I mean? Like
what is that saying? I heard a saying the other day. don't make it about us without us. It's good, right?
Like for us, by us, but different.
Yeah. Like don't make it about us without us. And I think that is really what it comes down to is like, you're going to do all these things and you're going to leave us out of it. Like that's, I think that's where my problem, originates is like, these belong to us. Why don't you why take it and hide it? You know what I mean? Like it's for everybody. So.
And even if you don't understand it, maybe that just means you didn't listen and ask the people of the origin enough.
And that's
like, some people are like, boba's new. And I'm like, the drink itself, it is new, fairly, in relation to everything. But like tapioca, the history of all of that is inherently Asian.
Right.
So you can't have boba.
Tapioca is Spanish. But it was because of colonization or something.
No. But the actual tapioca that they use is from specific roots that came from China.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that part does make it inherently Asian. You know what I mean? So just learn, pay attention. Of course you could be like, I think I could do that too, but within reason, without the ego bloat, right? Yeah. So with that, we'd like to thank you all for joining us on another episode as, oh my God, Archie lays here so adorably.
He's been so good. He's such a good boy.
Look at him. But thank you for joining us. You can find us on our socials.
You can find me at Sujio1 on Instagram and TikTok.
I'm at Etch-a-Sketch with a J on everything. This little adorable guys on Archie and Colt on Instagram. You can find the podcast at What in the Shibal. That's SHIBAL. That's if you would like to, sorry, I got distracted. If you would like to write in with questions, stories, am I the assholes, advice, write it in at whatintheshibal, that's SHIBAL, gmail.com. Otherwise, if you're listening to this podcast, know that there is a video version available on YouTube. But if you're already watching us,
don't go to the upload register. You always do that at the end.
But if you already are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Ding.
Otherwise, think about joining our Patreon. Today, we are going to be playing.
No, I don't want to do it today.
You don't want to do it today? I feel like people are going to love it. Also, it's relevant. I feel like it's going to go viral.
We'll think about it.
We're going to be playing Apate on Patreon, so look out for that, or on Instagram. We're not sure. I mean, on social media. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. I got everything right, Patreon.
Yeah, yep.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.
I just have a lot to do today.